Sir and Sirettes. Welcome to episode 2 of Solo CNA Podcast. I'm your host, Blackclone Badson. And as always, with the disclaimer, all names have been changed. Viewer discretion is advised, because I will talk about a lot of medical stuff that I have seen in my life as a CNA. Names have been changed of all the residents, co-workers, and also the facility. It'll literally just be called the facility. And if somebody can figure out where I work, then I'm gonna be surprised, because there's multiple facilities around the world. So I'll be very surprised. And with that disclaimer out of the way, welcome. This episode, I'm going to be primarily talking about the life of a weekend double CNA. And some people are going to probably call me a little bit disgusting on my habits, but, it is what it is. So, it starts off with me going to bed early Friday. I get my shower done Friday night, get my hair somewhat done, brush my teeth, do all that stuff, and then I go to bed around 8-9 o'clock. So that way I get a lot of sleep, because I'm going to need that for the weekend. I get up 6 o'clock sharp, sometimes 5:10, sometimes 5:50, 6, just in case if I want a little bit extra time to get ready or get something to eat, I give myself that extra time. When I wake up, I mostly, brush my teeth, get my hair, all styled and good, so that way I look professional, because it is a profession. Try to look as professional as I can be, brush my teeth, put on the deodorant, spritz a cologne, do a little bit of stretching. Don't have the time to work out as much as I'd love to. Don't have that time. And, make sure I got everything, my packed lunch, which mostly consists of either a ham sandwich, some chips. Last week it was a ham sandwich with some banana bread. That was the courtesy of my father. Thank you on that one. And, you mostly just chill out a little bit, get your brain ready for the work day, and around 6:30, that's when I'd go to work. I leave, 10 minutes early, because it takes 20 minutes to get there, but I leave early, so that way when I get there, I can just go in, clock in early, get the report, so that way the people can just leave. At least night shift can leave on time. At least that's the hope. Sometimes it doesn't always take out that way. So I go in there, I do the COVID screening, it gets my temperature and all that other stuff, and it's like, well, I'm not running a fever, so I guess I'm good. At least I'm not coughing up a lung, so also I'm good. By the time I get done with the screener, clock in around 6:55. Even though the shift technically starts at 7, I clock in, 5 to 6 minutes early. It's, a little bit of extra money. What else am I going to do in that time frame? Then I go and I get report. Report technically consists of who is around, when were they changed, has anything changed, like behavioral wise, and if they're up. Like if they're a person that needs to be get up, then you would make sure that they are up. Because it is night shift's responsibility to get people up around 6 o'clock. Some people, they're independent, so you just let them sleep in if they want to, or if they want to get up at 6. But lights on is around 6 o'clock. So lights should be on by the time I get there. If they're not, then that's going to be kind of one of those moments. But anyways, yes. So lights on at 6. You do your rounds. It's like, okay, so this person, they were changed at this time. This person, they were changed at this time. I got this person changed. I got this person up. Everybody else, they're independent, either that or the limited. And they don't really need much help, but sometimes they'll ask for help. And all that other stuff. And that takes about 10 minutes. And then, afterward, you're kind of just waiting around for everybody else to get there. And then around 7:30, you're doing vitals and ice. Because The time between like 7:10 and 7:30 is just making sure everybody's there, making sure everybody has got report, nobody has called in, and if they have, then you gotta kind of figure out who needs to split a hall. Like, let's just say the person for 400 didn't show up. The person for hall 3 and 1, which I'm typically on 1, I will split like one half of the 4 hall, and the other person on 3 will split 1 hall of the 4. Although that's kind of unfair, because 3 hall has a lot of 2-person assists, which means they can't do anything on their own. They typically need another person to help them. And it's the same thing with 2 hall. So primarily, me on 1 does 4, so I'm typically doing 1 and 4. That's 90% of the time. I've never had a week where I didn't have to do 4. And it kind of gets tiring, because, I'm tired of doing 22 people, or taking care of 22 people. It sucks, because I don't get a chance to interact with them. Like one resident on 100, I normally sit and talk with him for a good 20-30 minutes. And I know that's pretty long out of a, entire day. But that's how it was when I would be able to do my own hall. Like, I'd be able to sit, talk with them, be like, hey, how's your day going? The football game, talk about the football game, talk about the news a little bit. That's what we would do. But I haven't been able to do that. I used to. But with things going on now, I don't. And that's one of the reasons why I also like being a CNA, is because, when things are calm, you're able to talk with them and stuff. Fast forward a little bit. 8 o'clock, you do your rounds to make sure everybody's dry before breakfast. Breakfast comes around 8:30. So if you're fast at rounds like I am, I can get them done lickety split. Like, even if they're a 2-person assist, I'm pretty strong. I'd say I'm a pretty strong guy. Considering that, I can literally lift up a 280-pound person like a ragdoll because of the draw sheet. I will just pick up the draw sheet with both hands and just flunk. There we go. Like, I can get them done in 30 minutes. Like, 3 people, get them done in 30 minutes. Now, 4 people's crossing that line. But anyways, rounds, I can get them done fast. So it's like on the 1 hall, I can, get them changed, make sure they're all good. 8:30 is when trays typically arrive, although that's when they're scheduled to arrive. Though sometimes they don't. Sometimes it can be up to 9 o'clock, which kind of put things at more of a moments, because that cuts into the possibility of trying to get some showers done, if possible. But yeah, 8:30 to 9 is passing trays. I give my people on 1 hall, and 4 sometimes, I give them an extra 10 minutes after 9 to make sure they have everything to eat, because some people eat slowly, some people eat fast. And around 9:10, I'm picking up trays, making sure everybody has their ice and water, because sometimes I drink a lot, and make sure everybody's good. Sometimes I take the limited assist to the bathroom at that time, because sometimes they do go after eating. And afterwards, I try to get a little bit of trotting done, then I take a 15 at 9:30. Then afterward, after around 9:30, after I get a little bit of the trotting done, take a 15, come back, get my trotting done, 10, do my rounds, and then at that point, I'll try to get some people their showers. But when I'm doing 1 and 4, I can't do that, because I'm having to answer call lights and change people between that time frame. So all throughout that structured time of a routine, you have to answer call lights in between. Although when it comes to rounds, I try to get them done, then answer the call lights. But if it's one of those, I get on with one person, I see a call light, I answer it, and then a call light pops up, I'll tell them, hold on a second, I gotta change this person. Because you can't just leave them hanging, you gotta be like, hey, give me a moment, I gotta make sure this person is clean and changed. I go change the second person, then I go get that call light. If another call light's on, I'll get that call light. And if it's all good, I'll change the third person, and then so on and so forth. You gotta have that, kind of rhythm going, you gotta change somebody, answer a call light, because you can't leave them hanging forever, State says you have to get a call light answered in 5 minutes. When you're having to do rounds, like I said, it can take anywhere from 5 minutes to 10. So if I see a call light, I'll drop by, tell them, hey, give me a moment, turn off the call light. If I don't come within 10 minutes, hit the call light again. I'll be right back. That type of case scenario. I do that all the time. And, do the rounds, answer them. It can get hectic and stressful, especially when you have to take care of 2 halls. But once you get it done, all said and done, by 11, you're doing the charting on people who roll rounds, if they had a BM, if they didn't, all that other stuff, if they're continent, blah, 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 blah. Charting is its own entirety of a thing. And some days it gets so hectic with call lights that I'm not able to get charting done until, like, the end of the shift. And then around 12 to 1 is when lunch comes out. And, once lunch comes out, do the same thing for about 30 minutes. You're passing trays, another 30, make sure everybody eats. 1, you're picking up trays. Around, 1:30 to 2, you're picking up trays. And then around, 2 to 3, it's pretty calm. Not a lot of people want anything sometimes. So, 2 o'clock comes, do your rounds. There's not a lot of call lights around that time. So you get your rounds done, then you try to get done with your charting. 3 o'clock, it's the end of the shift. Everything should be good, everything should be fine. Cue it, should be. Doesn't always mean it will be. Just saying it should be. And then, basically, 3 to 5, it's kind of just answering call lights and doing rounds. Because you have that 4 o'clock round. So you got to do rounds every 2 hours. And if somebody is a total dependent where they're not able to move, you have to rotate them every 2 hours as well to prevent bed sores and stuff. Just thought I should point that out as well. Some people refuse to be on their sides and stuff, and so we have to put cream on them to make sure they don't get a bed sore. It's one of those, you kind of try and try. Sometimes you fail and don't succeed. But that's a preventative measure of bed sores. Keyword attemptive. Attemptive preventative measure. 3 to 5. Pretty much everything is kind of really calmish around that time. And 5 to 6, you're passing trays. Yeah, the dinner is it kind of interferes with that changing people thing. It always does. So, 6 o'clock, make sure everybody eats. People who need to be fed are fed. Yada, yada, yada. Pick up trays around, 6:30 to 7. And lights out is about 30 minutes after 7. So about 7:30, I'll do lights out. Sometimes 8. It really depends on how active people are. But if it hits around 8 o'clock, it's okay, I'm turning off the light. It's nighttime. At that point, y'all should be getting ready for bed. Because I do have some residents who will stay in the room all day and then wait till after dinner to go into the hall and talk with each other. And it's I like the fact that they're talking with each other. It's just we do have bedtime, nighttime. Nighttime, 8 o'clock. You can stay up and chat in the dark a little bit, but that's when the typical lights out is. It's to wind people down, because the circadian rhythm. That's why lights out is at 8. It's consecutively at 7:30 to 8. 30 minutes doesn't really whack a lot of people out. But on the weekends, it's typically 7:30. If people are in the hall, I'll let it be for another 30 minutes and 8. Everything's off. And around 8, once I turn off the lights, if people are in the hall, it's oh yeah, it's bedtime, do the last rounds. At that point, try to get charting done for the night. Get a lunch break. I should say, lunch break for me is typically around 10:30 and 8:30. Why is it after the 30 mark? Because that's when I get my rounds done. Like I said, it takes roughly 30 minutes for me to get rounds done. So it's like after 8:30 I have my rounds done. I tell the other CNA, hey, I'm going on lunch. Can you watch my hall? When I get back, you can go on lunch, you know? If it's full people, we try to do 2 on lunch, 2 still manning the halls to do call-outs. Yeah, one of those things. But if it's just 3, we do 1 CNA go, 15 minutes later, 1 CNA go. When the original CNA who started the lunch cycle comes back, then that last person goes on lunch. So it's 45 minutes for everybody to get back from lunch versus typical 30 minutes. Like I said, if it was full, it'd just be 30-30. You know, in and out. Bye-bye. No need to prolong it more than it already is. But yeah, after I come back from lunch, it's 9. I do a little bit of charting, answer some call-outs. It's very chill around that time. Like, there's rarely any call-outs. Although there are moments when it's like full moons, people are still pretty active because their rooms are lit up from the moon. And I don't know why, but it seems like just senior citizens like to be very active when it comes to full moons or half moons and stuff. It's one of those weird things, you know what I mean? One of those weird things. 10 o'clock, it's like I'm finishing up my charting, and at that point I'm cleaning everything up around the nurse's station. At least that's what I do personally, because the other people, they're struggling a little bit because, you know, they're doing 2-person assist and stuff, so it takes them a little bit longer, which I completely understand. So, you know, I get all my trash, I collect it, that's around 10. So 10, it's like I collect up all my trash, all the nurses' trash, all the, you know, nurse's station itself trash, collect everything else, make sure everybody's rooms and stuff are clean. And then afterward, you know, like, at that point it's like 10:30, and I take out all my trash, and come back, make sure everybody's good. I should have said that also, you know, like, 10:30, make sure everybody's clean. Though, when it comes to night, not a lot of people, like, the briefs are pretty dry on the 10 o'clock rounds, which is one of those that's kind of odd, but at the same time, they're asleep, the body still produces the urine and stuff, but for some unknown reason, like, they can... Gosh! But, at night, it's, from what I've heard from most of the night shift CNAs, especially when I work night shift CNAs, is that when it comes to night, they don't urinate as much, so it's pretty much every 4 hours. Although the state says you have to do it every 2 hours, but the 99% of the time dry, which is kind of true. So, also in rounds, like when you do the final rounds, not final rounds, but when you're giving report, you tell them who was dry last round, so that way they know, you know, this person I'm going to have to change relatively soon. If that makes sense. Should have probably said that in the first place, but my bad. But yes. But yeah, afterward it's like pretty much chill. For that last 30 minutes it's chill. If you didn't get charting done, you get the rest of your charting done, and afterwards just waiting for night shift. And that's pretty much the cycle of a weekend double CNA. The day shift is more hectic than evening. And night shift is very calm. It's just, it's primarily only 2 CNAs night shift doing rounds. So, I mean, that's just the majority of it. I mean, that's just being honest. But other than that, you know, it ain't too bad. The facility has 8 halls total. Each of them ranging from 14 people to 20 people. Because you have 2 private rooms. So let's see here. One, the best I can describe it is 1 private room and 6 you have roommates. So, you know, you have 14 there. And then, like, on other halls, it's like you may have 1 private and the rest, you know, and the rest have roommates. sort of thing on this one because it's doing math. Because each hall is genuinely different. Because you have some that have 14, some that have 18, some have 24. You know, and in the state, I think, I mean it varies. Yeah, I take that back. I don't really know like the CNA ratio, if there even is a federal one. Don't really know the state one that well, but I've heard that the facility that I worked at, in day, well, I was supposed to have at least one minimum per hall. Anything below that is going under the state. So, yeah, it's gonna suck. But I will share one experience. It's gonna be those one thing, and hopefully get us near the 30-minute mark. But so it was this week actually, where I did the weekend double, and I was coming in Monday to put in some extra hours because of drills, and I changed everybody. I know I did. And this one CNA, she just loves to play the victim card. You know, she loves playing the victim card. But yeah, so I changed everybody. I'm really tired because, you know, you typically get off, like, even though you're supposed to get off at 11, it takes a night shift around like 10 to 20 minutes to actually come through. So at that point, it's 11:20. Then I have to do that 20-minute drive home, which is exhausting. So then it's also like, you know, when you get home, you gotta get ready to get to bed. And that's like, for me, I struggle to get to sleep. So sometimes I'll get 5 hours of sleep, sometimes I'll get 4. It really just depends on how my body likes me that day. I don't know why, but I've just always had a hard time going to sleep. Just one of those things. And, yeah. And basically rinse and repeat. Get up around 5:50, not 5:10. Get up around 5:50, 6:10, and do rinse and repeat. But going back, so it's like I get there at the facility, go back to the original story. I know I changed everybody on the hall, and it's like I'm working this hall. It's like I already knew I was going to work it like 3 days in advance. And I'm getting a report, and she's like, I'm really disappointed in you. Okay? Everybody in this hall was wet. Their bed was soaking wet. You did not change them at all. And I'm like, I know I changed them. And the fact that you're saying I didn't change them is bull fucking shit. What happened was that, you know, they probably went twice during the night, and because you only check them every single 4 hours, because I know you night shift fuckers do that, they got their beds wet. Holy crap! Doesn't that sound conspicuous? There are some people that will go twice within that 4-hour period. It does happen. Some people even go 4 times. And that will lead to their bed being soaked. So, if you don't know the residents, and you don't know their own bladder cycle, then yes, that will happen. But yeah, it really irritated me that she was like cussing at me and chewing me out for not changing resident, even though I know I changed them. I know I did. Alright? Because I'm not an awful CNA. Because I know some people that will go the entire day, the entire shift without changing somebody, and then change them at the end of the shift to make it look like nothing happened. I know. People done that. How do I know? Because I've seen it. I've seen it happen. Because there was a guy at my facility who literally was 90% of his job was going outside and just smoking. The other 10 was actually changing people and answering call lights. Every 2 hours he would, go in, check, make sure the bed's not soaked, and then go back out. And that's it. He was awful. He was fucking awful. But how he kept the job was because he was actually banging the HR lady. That's an entire gossip story on its own. Really, there's a lot of juicy gossip. And working with a lot of women, you kind of get used to gossip, and then you find it juicy yourself. It does get interesting. But, yes. But with that, we are close to our 30-minute mark, so I'm just going to end this small podcast off here. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like button down below, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.